I was diagnosed with cancer 4 years ago, and since then, I have rebuilt my life, and now I am helping other mums rebuild their lives. And together, we're just trying to raise awareness, help educate, because there's such a taboo around cancer, and we need to start normalizing talking about it, because if we don't talk about it, we can't learn and we can't know what to look for. So that's where
Yeah.
Cancer Mum Cheerleader came from. And then Unbreakable Voices is my podcast where I have amazing women like Alli who come on and share their story and just help to, raise that awareness. So here today we
Mm.
have Alli.
Mhm. Thank you.
So Alli, so tell me a bit about yourself and what life looked like before your cancer diagnosis.
Yeah, okay. Well, we lived in a different state in Victoria, and I was previously a nurse practitioner, but then I was working, had my own little business working with children and adults with special needs, and life was just pretty hectic. And we were planning to move interstate over to Perth, and but I just was having lots of unexplained symptoms that you might put down to IBS, just tummy pain, and I was just trying to figure out what it was really. I just couldn't figure it out. I was really healthy, eating in the right way, but my health was just declining.
Mm.
And but it kind of think it got all a bit mixed up with the move across. And I had a really actually I was just a real sharp increase in weight,
Mm.
and then my weight just plummeted, like, and because I'm a nurse practitioner, I knew that that was a red flag. Any change in weight or any change in bowel habit. I was really constipated. I was having to do enemas just to go to the toilet, and I was repeatedly going back to the GP and saying this isn't normal, and they're just saying, oh, you're just constipated. And so I had numerous scans, nothing was ever picked up. Nothing was picked up on the bloods. And some weekends I would just, towards the end, I would wake up and I couldn't even walk. I'd be bent over double in pain and just thinking, oh, it's something I've eaten. Like there was no answer for me. And then, yeah, we moved into state, and that was just in September 23, and this pain went on. And then Christmas Day, well, I had a scan just before I went back to the GP. I said, you need to scan me again, there's got to be something else. So they ended up having a CT scan, and that's when they saw a pocket of something over my appendix. And yeah, that's the start of my journey of diagnosis.
I mean,
So
even just the beginning of your story, I said this in my
mm,
Unbreakable Voices last week. A lot of us seem to have this commonality in where we're either misdiagnosed or it's not picked up. And
yeah.
I feel like every person that I speak to, this has happened.
Mm,
And it's ridiculous and
crazy.
it's scary.
It is. Because if I had come to me as a nurse practitioner, I'd been like, change in bowel habit, change in weight loss. You're on a 2 week wait list in the UK.
Mm.
That's what I would have done.
Mm.
So it's pretty scary.
Absolutely. So what type
Yeah.
of cancer was you diagnosed with?
Yeah. So then, yeah, Christmas, I ended up going back in on Christmas Day with just uncontrollable pain. Yeah. Because they'd done this scan, they'd done an internal scan, they'd poked around. Whatever they had done set off horrific pain to me. And on hindsight, when the chiropractor would press over my gallbladder area, I'd be crippled for days after, and without realizing that's where all my cancer was. So I had an appendix cancer, which is very rare. It's 1 in a million, and that I ended up having emergency surgery just when I went in to remove this. It was a tumor that had actually ruptured inside me, and it had already ruptured, and it had turned into another cancer called Pseudomyxoma peritoni, which is PMP, also very rare, where in that kind of, it puts little tumor spores in it which embed in all your organs. and then they produce a mucin jelly, which coats your organs and then crushes them, which is what I was experiencing with my pain. And so, yeah, it was two rare cancers that I got, and not a lot. I couldn't get any answers from them either. There's nothing from the Macmillan. Everyone would just go, "Oh, sorry, we don't have the information on this." So it was really scary. You know, there was no real proper treatment plan or next stages, next steps.
I mean, it's scary enough when you are told you have cancer, but then yeah,
Mm,
to for them to be as clueless then as you were, I
yeah,
can't even imagine like how you must have been
yeah,
feeling. I mean,
yeah.
describe the exact words then, like when you heard you have cancer, like what
Mm.
went through your mind?
Well, I'd got it was all a blur. I knew something was really wrong, and had my emergency surgery. And when I woke up from it, I just said, "Oh, what did you find something?" And they
Mm,
just said, "Well, you'll speak to the surgeon." And they took me straight back to the bed, and Tom was there, and the kids were there, bless them, because we don't have any family over or anyone didn't really know anyone over here. And they just said, "Can the kids go out?" So we sent the kids out with their headphones on their iPads. And when I got there, sorry, the surgeon just came straight in, and I remember thinking, that's not good. And she just said, "Hi, it's not good news. We found cancer. It's spread to every organ in your abdominal cavity. It's on your liver, it's on your ovaries, it's in your stomach lining, and we're really sorry." And I was just like, to me, I knew that, well, it's in more than one place, so it's not in one primary, it's metastasized. So,
mm,
and they said it could be either two types. It's appendix cancer or it's sigmoid colon. Yeah, and then you just have to wait for the results. But it was Christmas, and everything had stopped, so I had to
mm.
wait until everyone had gone back to work mid-January before I got any answers. So it was a pretty scary time.
I
Yeah.
mean, Christmas is like, Christmas is supposed to be a joyful time. So I don't even know how you managed to get through Christmas.
Yeah, it was all. It's like a dream when I look back. Like I remember
Mm,
we got to New Year and I was just we went to drive out to watch the fireworks and Tom brought a chair for me to sit on and I just remember looking at these fireworks thinking, is this is this my last fireworks? That's how
yeah,
I was thinking at the time. It
yeah.
was yeah, pretty scary. Yeah.
I mean, how did you cope with telling your family and your friends?
Mm. Well, yeah, I mean, I never knew how I would handle it and my mum died when I was young. So I'd walked these shoes before and I wanted to
Mm,
make sure that the kids were properly supported. So there was a free counsellor with Cancer Council WA, which was really good. And they just kind of gave us a bit of advice. And we went on a walk with the kids and then kind of told them that way. So they were out and about. And Leo, bless, he just looked up at me and went, "Are you going to be okay?" And I can't remember what I said now. And then he just went off and skipped to his house. It just like didn't register. But Tabitha was, yeah, she was really upset. But I'd already had this shift in my mind that I was going to be okay, and I was going to be positive. But obviously, you've got to be real with the kids as well.
mm,
So we just said we're just going to do everything that we can. And and I actually told lots of people. I don't know. It was a kind of way of coping. I've connected with all my friends back in England, and I was ringing them all over Christmas period, which probably wasn't that nice for them. But I was just seeking communication. I think
mm.
really with people. Yeah.
The thing, I
So.
think we all handle it differently, but I mean, I was always very open. Like, it was never something I was going to shy away from because I was like, I might have
Mm,
bad days and I don't want people thinking she's a moody cat, like, what's the matter with her? And it was a case of, well, this thing is happening and I
mm,
want people to sort of realize, it happens a lot,
yeah. Yeah.
definitely. So, feeling like when you're a mum, you've really got to sort of stay, you just feel like you have to stay strong for others. Like, how did that impact
Mhm.
you having that? you know, that responsibility?
No, something weird happened to me. I'll never forget it in hospital, because I'd always been so scared of getting cancer and history repeating itself. And then suddenly it was. And I remember it was just awful. Like at their Christmas, and everyone was at home, and I was like, oh my God, this is just awful. And I thought, I'm gonna fight this. I'm gonna be all right. There's just only one way to live this experience, and that's with positivity and hope. And that's what I'm gonna do, because the alternative is just, it's not a nice way to live. So that's how I went in, and I just thought I'm gonna be okay. And I wanted the kids to see that, but at the same time, I was very physically sick for them to see, like, and in pain. So that was kind of contradicting. But yeah, I just thought I'm going to be strong, and that's how I was going to be.
Well, I think that definitely does make a difference in people's recovery. If you have that mindset
Yeah,
and you know, you are stubborn as hell and think, right, I'm going to beat this. It definitely does make a difference.
yeah, I'm definitely stubborn. I'm a Taurus. We're
Yeah,
stubborn.
yeah, because like, yeah, Taurus. Definitely. I was like, this
Yeah,
is the one time being stubborn is actually going to come. Like, it's actually work in
exactly.
my favor.
Yeah, yeah.
So what treatment then did you have like for all of it, and are you on any other treatment now?
Yeah, so I've had this operation, and then they called me back, I don't know, on the 11th of January, so not very long after, and I had another operation, a diagnostic laparoscopy, where they have a look to see inside, and then that actually just decides the next step. So that he actually saw a visual of the PMP, and he just said, right, okay, we're going to get you back in a couple of weeks, and we're going to do a peritonectomy operation. And they basically gave me a shopping list. We're going to remove your gallbladder, part of your bowel, probably your liver, your spleen. The list went on, and it was just like it was like it gave me a shopping list. And we're going to do that in a few weeks. And I was just like, you're not going to do that to me. I had no time to process it. I couldn't understand how I could live afterwards. That stripped my entire peritoneum. I was just like, no. And I didn't trust him, this surgeon, because I kept asking about certain things he was going to take out of me, and he wouldn't give me clear answers. He wouldn't even put it in writing. So I just instantly thought, no, not letting you do this. And there's only 5 surgeons in the whole of Australia that actually perform this operation.
Oh, wow.
So I started researching, and found one in Melbourne, but who is amazing. But I was on a long waiting list for a few months. So he said to me, this cancer's been growing in you 5 to 7 years. It's very slow growing.
Wow.
So that kind of gave me permission to go, okay, hold on, I'm going to sit and just find out my options. And so I ended up going with him. But before that, I tried to do things, well, I really wanted to do things holistically. And like we said, there's no clear plan. All these surgeons do different things. They do different chemotherapies. And so I ended up going out to Thailand for some integrative care, cancer care. A fund page was put up for me, which was amazing. And I went out there, and I had holistic treatments like IV drips, full and local body hypothermia. I was on chemo out there, but a low dose rather than it being intravenously. And I did that first, and I did actually shrink things slightly. However, you just can't, the whole thing about this is you can't see it on a scan. So I actually got given the all clear, but it wasn't true. So for 2 weeks, I thought I was cancer free. And then I found out that I wasn't. So I knew from the pain that something wasn't quite right. So then I had to flip my thinking. I mean, 100% it all helped me out there with my immunity and like building up my immune system. But then I had to flip my thinking to that I was going to have this peritonectomy, which we then flew to Melbourne to have the surgery there. And I had peritonectomy operation, which ended up being 12 hours. And then at the end, they do hot intravenous chemo into your stomach to flush out any microscopic disease at the end.
Blimey.
And then I was, in Melbourne. 6 weeks or something in hospital. It was a long recovery.
I mean, even just that first surgeon saying about how they're going to remove all these, like, I don't know about you, but I would have been like, don't I need these? Like, obviously we have these to begin with for a reason, like, and then you're just going to take it all away. Like, oh,
I couldn't comprehend it as a nurse as well. Like even like the omentum, which is the layer of fats, like, oh, you don't need those, but they're full of like lymph supply and blood, and they help you function, they help you fight illness,
mm,
and yeah. But I'm living proof. And there was the night before my operation, a beautiful friend came out to Melbourne, and we pulled these cards. And if I think back, it's like a whole trauma bubble of that night before. But I'd already decided that actually I was going to be okay by that stage. But we pulled a card and it said, "Have unwavering faith." It was beautiful, and
I
I just
love
thought
that.
it's going to be okay.
Yeah,
And I do function. I am okay. I walk around a lot lighter, and but I'm still functioning. It's pretty incredible. The body is amazing, and that's what I've learned on this
mm,
journey. The body is absolutely amazing. And I read a book by Deepak Chopra, which was Quantum Healing, and in that first chapter, which is everyone should read it, I just decided there and then that like my body absolutely has the ability to find a new way of living. You
really
know,
does.
that's how
Absolutely.
I think. Yeah.
So, I mean, in terms of then um the treatment, like how long did the sort of aftermath effects last for?
Oh gosh. Well, it's all a blur. That first 6 months is a blur. But coming
Mm.
back, I'm nearly a year. On the 26th of July this year. It's a
Oh,
year.
wow.
So it's pretty crazy. So yeah, I came back and just recovered at home. I was sleeping every single day. That was tough, obviously being a mum. Like going to the supermarket and going from one end to the other was like the biggest thing of my day.
Mm.
And that was my life. And I just but then the issue I had was because it's so extensive, the surgery and all that, because they scrape everywhere, everything was scraped. I had a full hysterectomy as well. So I was left with a lot of scar tissue, and that scar tissue is wrapped around my bowels. And
Right.
so I have repeated bowel obstruction. So part of my recovery is that, yeah, it's 10 times now. I've gone into bowel obstruction within a year, and it's not very nice. I ended up in hospital quite a lot. So that's kind of what I'm left with, even though everything else is, I've healed really well. And I
Mm.
actually had a clear scan about a month or so ago, which was really good. And the next stage is I have a colonoscopy. I'm due for that. So every year for 10 years, I have a scan and a colonoscopy so we can see what's going on. So
Right.
it was a long recovery. And then in January this year, because I remember at Christmas just thinking, is this my life now?
Mm.
I've looked around at people who had energy and vitality and think, wow, what is that like? I can't be bothered to put colour in my eyebrows. And that's when a friend lent us a hydrogen water machine, actually, which I know we've spoken about. And just drinking hydrogen water, within those few days, my energy came back, my brain fog lifted, which I thought was chemo brain and the menopause, but actually I think I've had it for years.
Mm.
And just my vitality came back, and I was just like, this is amazing, this water. So I've invested in a machine, and now I share it with my community. It's just a beautiful way to educate people. And I have a lot of people going through cancer diagnoses, and they've got my machines in their house, and I just love watching their healing journeys.
I mean,
So
yeah, we've spoken about this water, and it just
yeah,
sounds like miracle water. It just sounds like, and like I've
magic
spoken to you
water.
about like about my son and his allergies, and you were
Yeah,
saying about how it helps with
yeah,
that. It just,
yeah,
but it's like, why have
yeah.
I only just through you been hearing about this
Yeah,
water? Like, why is it not
I know.
out?
I know it's crazy. If you lived in Japan, they have it over there in every single household, and they live the longest. That's where it comes from. The
No
machine, it's
way.
like 50 years old. They use it in hospitals over there. So it's known and it's out there. But you know, they don't really like us to know about all the healing things. They would much rather we took medicine. And that's why I don't nurse anymore. As much as I love nursing and I love palliative care, I just don't align with that model now of, you know, prescribing medicine for a symptom. I believe you can heal yourself if you give your body the right, like, Leo's food intolerances I'd nearly healed it by diet, but it was only through the water that we've got rid of the last couple. Tabby's asthma's greatly improved, and my husband's chronic IBS symptoms have gone away. So, I'm just hoping that through my page, I don't just share about the water, I share about all the healing tools that have helped me heal, because I just want to help other people on, like with what you're doing, just help other people on those journeys. Because when you're having those dark days and you're Googling your cancer, which no one's heard of, it was people on Instagram that gave me hope, seeing them living well and thriving after cancer, that just gave me hope that I was going to be okay. So that's now what I try and give back.
Absolutely. We have a comment. Flora by Martha said, "You have unwavering strength, my darling. The strength you've shown is incredible. Even now, Ari, telling your story so beautifully."
Thank you. She's the friend that came to look after me. Yeah, beautiful.
So, how do you think cancer has impacted you the most, not just as a woman, but also as a mum?
Yeah, I mean, it's changed my life, and in a good way, actually, because I don't think I'd like to go back to living how I was before. So I've got, every day is a gift, even just cuddling the kids on the couch or just being more present with them is how I'm living life. So, and yeah, I don't want to miss a moment, and I think every day is a gift. So it's impacted me in a good way.
Yeah, I think that does sort of seem to be true for a lot of people, and like myself as well. And it's you're now grateful because you know it could have gone the other way, and so you really do realize how short life can be.
Yeah, it's my mindset is really. I've done so much work on my mindset, like I had to, because as much as I was positive, there's dark days, when you're in so much pain. And in my recovery, there'd be some days where I would get to the end of the day and it would feel like I was dying, like I would be crawling into bed. And it takes a lot of strength just to think I'm going to be okay, and replace the fear-based thoughts. So I've just had to do a lot of work, and it shaped me completely, and it's changed my life, it's changed my job, it's changed everything,
Exactly. That's the thing. And I love when people take the pain and take everything that cancer has put them through and then turned it for good, and are now helping others as well.
Exactly. And we've spoken about this, haven't we? Once you've been through this, you're not going to stay doing a job you don't like. You're just going to no, life's too short. I'm going to go for it and I'm going to achieve it. And I want my children to see what's possible.
Exactly.
If you just follow your heart.
Yeah. I don't want my kids thinking that you have to leave school and then go in a dead end job that you hate and that's it now for the rest of your life. Like, no.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So for anyone who is watching this and they are in the thick of their cancer battle, what advice would you give them?
Good question. Not to rush things, even though you think, even quite aggressive cancers, you've just got to pause and look at all your options. You don't want to make a mistake. I could have gone with that surgeon straight away, and he was doing out of date chemo. He was going to give me intravenous chemo for 5 days post-op after the operation. I thought, no,
I'm glad that you were strong enough to say no to him, because I think some people might just be like, okay, yeah, you know what you're talking about. So I'm glad that you did.
Yeah, and also it's really hard with family as well. You get pressured by family to maybe take a different path. I felt that from some of my family, and I wish I'd been stronger in just my mindset. But you're weak, Well, I felt weak sometimes when I was making decisions. I was just really lucky to have Tom. So have someone who's in your corner, a good advocate, look at all your options. Don't just go with your first surgeon. I had four different opinions before I decided on my path. And, for me, I did have a slow growing tumor, so I did have that time. But even, yeah, as I say, even if you've got aggressive, it's been in you for a long time. It's not just suddenly popped up. Cancer just doesn't happen, a few months before. This has been happening to me for years. So just take your time and get, all the information you can before you make a decision.
Yeah, no, that's good
And
advice.
yeah, yeah.
Because I think that's the thing. You go to the doctors and you trust them. You trust that they I know what they're talking about, but it might not be, what they're saying might not be right for you. Like the
Mm,
the mum that I had on last week, she has terminal bowel cancer, and
mm,
she was having chemo and it was making things worse. And so then
mm,
now she's on immunotherapy now, and it's like
okay.
that's so much more better for her. So it's like what the doctor might say at the beginning, it might not actually be what you should be taking.
No. And also, I would love to see more of an integrative approach, because
Mm.
you don't just want to go in with chemo and radiation and surgery. There are other options to support your healing as well, like that can be
Mm.
really supportive on your journey. So look at what you've got locally: hyperbaric oxygen and intravenous drips, IV intravenous drips. Build up your immune system. So really have a look at what you've got locally as well that can support you.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We've had another
yeah.
comment. Mel Barron, home at 35. I'm living with cancer, and after
Mm.
major surgery last year, my consultant told me statistically I have 5 years. I have, oh, I can't pronounce what she has.
Myxoma, Peritoni. Yeah,
I wake up every
yeah.
day
I
and
know.
feel like I get on with life. I do think it does. Positivity, and
Yeah.
like
Mhm.
stress, even though people, I don't think people understand how fundamental stress can actually really affect you. And stress, cancer
Yeah.
feeds on stress. So
Mm.
you really do need to work on your mindset. Like you've just got to just
100%.
believe in yourself that you're going to beat it and just, yeah, you have to flip it.
And also, when doctors give you statistics like what Mel just said, I from the very beginning, this was my own personal choice. I just said, I don't want you to give me any statistics. He said, as soon as I'd start a conversation, they'd be like, oh, by the way, you've got you've got a great chance of surviving more than 5 years. And I just said, I don't want you to tell me any statistics because they'll be on my mind.
Hmm.
I just want to, because also you can't give me, I'm not your statistic, I'm my own individual
Exactly.
person who's deciding
Exactly.
my own treatment plan, and it's not just conventional, it's integrative. So for anyone who's going through this, that's a choice for you to make. But sometimes I just didn't want to know. Some people do, some people want to know. But for
Yeah.
me, I find that helps with my healing not to have that. And every time I go into hospital with a bowel obstruction, like the first time I ever had it, they said it's double loop, so it's twisted in two places, and that's that. But when that gets ischemic, that's when you need surgery, else it becomes a medical emergency. And they said it's very unlikely I'd heal from it naturally, and I did. And so now every time I come in, I just say to them, I don't want to know what type it is. I'm just going to heal from this, please. So that they get a bit annoyed at me at hospital, I think.
I
But
bet they do because you're putting them out of job.
I know, but it's all doom and gloom with the way they talk about everything. They say what they can see on the scan, and I just think, oh, I don't want to
Mm.
know. I just want to yes, I've got a bowel obstruction, and I'm gonna be fine. Is what
Yeah,
my mind needs to hold on to. Yeah.
exactly. Mel said,
So,
worrying about it will not change anything, so I just don't worry. Exactly. Yeah, what is the
yeah,
point? Yeah,
exactly. It's a
exactly. It's a
very good
good
way to think
attitude.
now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So,
Yeah.
lastly, what
Yes.
word would you associate with cancer?
Words.
Word, yeah.
Just one word or
I might let you have two.
okay, what words would I associate with cancer? Well, the first thing that just comes into my head is life changing because it
It
is.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely. And it's
So,
how you then take that change and how you
yeah,
implement it.
yes.
What is the rocking
Yeah.
chair analogy?
I don't know. She's put me on the. Oh yeah, there's oh my God, what is it? I had it written on my wall once. I'd have to look it up. It's about it's always going to rock anyway or something. I'll have to look it up. I can't remember. It's
Ah, you
testing
know,
me.
I've
Google it,
not.
Martha, and put it in there.
Yeah, I was gonna
Um,
say I wanna know what that is.
yeah, it's
I'll look
something
it
about
up.
it not worrying because it's always rocking, but I can't remember. I
Okay.
had a little next to my bed actually in my room, and I've still got certain things up. I've just got like a little collage of pictures from the kids, and it says I'm going to swim and all these like little positive things, and it was on there. I used to have it on there, so but now
Ah,
I've kind of cleared it and made it just a bit, yeah, not as much as what it was. But on it, it says Tabby did me a little drawing saying never give up.
I love
So
that. That's
yeah,
amazing. Well,
yeah,
thank you so much for coming on and for sharing your story. Um, it's just everyone I speak to is just so inspiring, and you all inspire me because like we all go through so much, and we're juggling motherhood and cancer, and
mm,
it's hard. It is really
yeah,
hard. We do it and come out, you know, winning and just
yeah,
making the world a better place. And we're so
yeah.
lucky to have you. So yeah,
Thank you, and thank you for letting me share my story. And we'll keep chatting
yeah,
because we're always sending each other little voice notes, aren't we?
we are, yeah. Oh, she said the rocking
Yeah,
chair analogy is a common way to describe worrying. It just suggests that while
yeah,
worrying might make you feel like you're actually doing something, it actually doesn't lead to any progress or resolution.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get that because of the movement, you feel like you might be, but you're actually, yeah, not
Yeah,
accomplishing anything. I like that. That's cool. I'm gonna remember
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Brilliant.
Oh, no,
Well,
thank you for
thank
letting
you
give
so
me this
much.
opportunity. Mhm.
You're welcome. And if anyone wants to speak to Ali about the hydrogen water as well, then go to Ali's page and yeah, message her, and she'll be able to help you because it literally does sound like miracle water, and I think we all need it.
We do, yeah. I'll be happy
Absolutely.
to give anyone information. Yeah,
Brilliant.
cool.
Well, thank you so much. And
Yeah,
no doubt I will speak to you tomorrow.
yes, definitely. All right then. Take care.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.